Hello everybody, this is Albert with Green Tea House. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to conclude the series on introducing tea to men. Now before we begin, if you haven't done so already, come and visit us here at the tea shop. We love to chat with you. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell so these episodes come fresh to you. And also post a comment. So I'll definitely make sure to put banners up here for the 3 episodes that we did on how to get men into drinking tea, because living here in the South in Texas, certainly there is a prejudice. I don't think it's like an intentional prejudice, but there is a prejudice that many men have toward drinking hot tea. They see it as even in the 19th century, they used to call it dandy. It was dandy when men would drink it. So you've kind of seen this heritage, this patrimony continue to this day. And some of it's just men didn't grow up drinking tea, hot tea. Or if they had it in the house, because most people have something in the house, tea bags or herbals, the women in the house would drink it. So we talked in the previous episodes about the history of it, how to approach it from the historical aspect, how to approach it from the global aspect, that tea is consumed by more men in the world on a given day than by women. We approached it from the health aspects. Tea is the healthiest beverage. Now let's just talk about actual teas that might get your guy into it. Now I've talked about how, a couple of times a month at least, I'll get maybe a man in his 60s coming in with his wife, and they'll be like, my doctor says I got to start drinking tea. I can't drink coffee anymore, and he's lamenting it. And what kind of teas kind of taste like coffee? And so I'll give you a couple. So Rose Petal Black, despite the effeminate name, it is really, the base of that tea is a pine smoked black, a famous tea called Lapsang Saichong. And it's very smoky. And I would say that this is probably the biggest seller in terms of teas here for men who are not familiar with tea. They'll come in and it just smells like cigars. It smells like barbecue meat. And we do put rose petals in it and lavender bits, but as a whole, that's what it is. The next couple of ones are going to be ones that kind of mimic the taste of black coffee. Number 1 would be Iron Goddess of Mercy, otherwise known as Tai Guan Yin. This is a very ancient Chinese tea. It is one of the most famous oolongs on the planet, and it has a great story behind it. There was a man, an old peasant, that found a derelict temple to the Iron Goddess and started to clean it up and maintained it and got it into working condition. Of course, this is centuries ago. And so as a reward, she appeared to him and said it was going to give him a reward. And he thought the reward was going to be something like money, gold, but it ended up being this tea plant. Either way, it kind of has a black coffee taste. I smell it. It's a roasted oolong, so it's going to be more oxidized oolong. We'll put a banner up here exactly what is oolong if you're not familiar with that term. And it is a roasted oolong that kind of just has a great black coffee caramel undertone to it. So I'd recommend that. Black Dragon, otherwise known as Iron Goddess of Mercy. Another one that I would recommend is Hojicha. Hojicha is going to be a roasted Japanese green tea. And because of the roasted quality of it, it has a great roasted taste, right? And so if you're trying to get men who maybe have been drinking coffee their whole life into drinking something that kind of tastes like coffee, you will understand there's really no tea, anything from Camellia sinensis, that's going to taste exactly like black coffee, because the Arabica or Robusta beans are fundamentally different than Camellia sinensis. But Hojicha has that roasted taste. Hojicha is probably the most common green tea that you can mix with milk and sugar along with matcha. And so I'd recommend Hojicha. So also Hojicha has an ancillary benefit or not ancillary benefit of having very low caffeine levels. Average tea has about 40 milligrams of caffeine. Average coffee is about 100. Hojicha, you're looking at about 5 milligrams, so it's very low. So it's something that they can drink at night if they like. Going back to Iron Goddess of Mercy, that has about 40, and Rose Petal Black maybe about 45 to 50. So those 3 kind of mimic the taste of black tea. What else would I recommend? There are some black teas that they might like, because black teas tend to be robust. Black teas are things that if they've been drinking tea in their life, it hasn't been yellow tea or white tea, it's probably been black tea. So you can go maybe with the First Flush Darjeeling. First Flush Darjeeling has a very aromatic, floral, light black taste to it. And again, it's going to be something that this one doesn't necessarily mimic coffee, but it's something that just is an amazingly complex taste. Darjeelings are the champagne of teas for the reason. Another one I would recommend is chai, the different chais, because I mean, what human on the planet doesn't like a chai when it's cold? You mix in some cinnamon, you mix in some milk, you mix in some sweetener, and it just tastes amazing. So that masala spice combination of cinnamon, cardamom, cloves, ginger, turmeric, whatever one. We have 3 or 4 different chais here, so I would recommend that one as well. So I mean, those would probably be the big ones that I would recommend. The last one, and it's really the piece de resistance, would be pu'er, because pu'er is fermented. Pu'er is very earthy, and there's something among all the tea that comes from Camellia sinensis. There's something about pu'er that is the most primordial. There's a primordial essence to it. Maybe it's because of its fermented quality, but there's just something, maybe it's its earthy taste. There's just something that just like harkens you to the earth, maybe because it tastes like earth. But I would definitely recommend pu'er. I know men that have come here who have never really drank tea, and I give them pu'er, they tend to like it. And again, and I would say probably as a whole, maybe men like pu'er and the different dark teas more than women do. But give them straight pu'er. We have pu'er tuocha, we have golden pu'er, just straight pu'er. And aside from the blends, I would probably give them just straight pu'er. So that's what I would do. So in review, in no particular order, Lifestyle Saichong, which we sell as Rose Petal Black, a pu'er, hojicha, which is Japanese green tea, Iron Goddess of Mercy, which is a roasted, high oxidized oolong, and then with the black teas, I would go with chai, I would go with flush Darjeeling. Guys, post in the comments, if you're a guy, what tea got you in when you were grudgingly brought to a tea shop and you had to drink tea? I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care and God bless.